What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Unique Toys Seigfried. This is the final figure in the Orden set, otherwise known as the Not Terrorcons. And this is not Hun-grr. And to be honest, this guy is freaking awesome. I absolutely love this alt mode. It is the two-headed dragon that Hun-grr is known for. It is incredibly well posable. He has a segmented and posable tail. I mean, look at this. It's so cute. Overall, the dragon mode is phenomenal. And you saw that me just right there for a second. You could pose the heads in multiple different ways, which I find really cool. You can have them looking off in different directions at the same time. I love that. This is probably the figure that I have been most looking forward to, given that when the set was announced, all we knew was Albrecht and Troll. I got to admit, Beast Mode alone, or Monster Mode alone, this guy is my favorite next to Troll, by far. So we've taken a quick look at the Beast Mode. Let's go ahead and take a look at his accessories. The figure comes with all of these accessories. Now, some of these accessories will combine for the full Orden mode, but what we've got here are a couple of different guns. We've got some guns. These 4 guns here can all be wielded by the other bots. We've got 2 gold swords, which are supposed to be wielded by Hagen. Then we have these other guns, these little 2 twin barrel guns, which act as side skirt guns, or I should say side guns in the combined mode. These 2 bits, which can form shields, are then combined together with the giant combined gun in beast mode. And then we've got a shield component that also acts as kind of like a weapon. And then this other large component, which really doesn't do anything by its own. It's just kind of there. It looks like it's supposed to split apart, but I cannot get this thing to come apart. Oh, maybe. Oh, wait, there, I got it. Okay, so it forms different shields. So we've got all these different shields. So yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. Now, those 4 guns we were just talking about do combine, as I said, and this is actually the main gun that's going to be used in the combined mode. So it's big, it's beefy, and it is awesome. The other thing that they do is they combine up with these red pieces that are supposed to form like the chest plates of the combined mode, and then they will peg into the back of the gun and have these little tabs flip out on the bottom. And then this can be mounted on top of the dragon mode. And I foolishly forgot that you need to actually add 2 more pieces to that, because otherwise the giant cannon isn't going to be able to attach. So you have to attach the red pieces to the chest pieces, and then attach that to Seigfried. So then we have this giant 2-headed dragon cannon. Honestly, this really reminds me of something from Zoids. I'm not exactly sure what, but it really does remind me of Zoids. Seigfried's transformation is pretty cool, actually. This is very G1-esque, but it's got a lot of interesting components to it. To start with, take the legs, or the heads, straighten them out, and open the mouths all the way to form the feet. And then we're going to come to the back of the figure and take these legs, the rear legs, and just straighten them out fully. And then when you could do that, you could fold them up like that. And when we do that, we want to keep the feet, or the rear feet, sticking out. Next, we'll come to the front legs and actually unpeg them from the hips. And there's this little piece right here. This little gray piece is actually going to fold down and form the crotch plate. And then we'll stand the figure up. Next, we're going to take the figure, turn him around, and actually come to this section back here. And we have to get our fingers in here to unpeg it, because we need to open this piece up in order to slide the entire unit down. There's actually a tiny little peg in there that we need to unpeg. And this is the hardest part of the transformation, is getting these pieces to come undone. So then once we do that, we could slide the whole chest unit down, and it should be able to peg into place right down there. But it doesn't want to go all the way down. And if I remember correctly, we have to push this piece out, pull the tail down, open up the rear, and flip out the head in order for everything to go down all the way, because the head is actually blocking it. Now this is the one part of this figure that I absolutely despise. They did not include a little plastic tab here in order to flip the head out. And getting the head out is actually almost impossible without using something else to pry it open. So in this case, I'm going to grab one of the swords and use that to pry it out. It doesn't always work, and I end up normally having to resort to using a pair of snips or a pair of needle nose pliers in order to get the head to come out all the way. If you guys or another reviewer know on how to get this head out easily, I'd be all ears. And oh yeah, it doesn't help that the bar in there is really tight. So now we could close that up, and we could put his tummy back together like that. We could turn it around and lock the hips into place, like so. Then leave the legs and actually turn them so that the feet are pointing up. And then take this entire section, turn these around, and then fold those rear legs. Come on. Failure, failure! So turn them, and then bring... Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm so sorry, guys. You have to swing the legs back. Once we've got the leg folded back, you want to have it pointed so that the claws are going over the shoulder. Then take that piece that was pointing in the back, and instead of folding it open, fold it in, and then that will peg into the hole in there, thus keeping the shoulder in place. Then we come to the wrists, or the front of the dino feet, turn them around and fold them up against the bottom of the forearms, and then open up the forearms and flip out the fists. And again, this is one of those situations where the plastic is much too strong for my own good, and I need a lever to get the fists out. And then the robot mode is complete. Seigfried's robot mode is freaking awesome. I love this robot mode. I think it is fantastic. The only issue I have with it is the fact that the tail here doesn't collapse or anything. That's it. That's my only real complaint, and that is totally and just completely ignorable. The tail is just about completely ignorable, and you know, if you have a strange pose, it can act as another leg or a counterbalance. The robot mode here is just aces. I mean, it is freaking awesome. I love it to death. Unfortunately, he has no light piping, but oh well, don't really care. I'm just smitten with this guy. In fact, next to Troll, he's my favorite figure of the set. Headsculpt is also really cool. I would have loved to have seen a little bit more nastiness in the Headsculpt, but it works. It does feel a little bit too Autobotish for a Terracon. Oh well. You know, it's weird. His Headsculpt really reminds me of Red Alert for some reason from G1. Whatever. Anyway, let's go ahead and check him out with weapons. Seigfried is pretty poseable, possessing a ball joint in the head, some ratchet and hinge joints in the shoulders, a swivel above the elbow, a double elbow, and the fists do articulate. He has torso articulation from side to side, hip articulation are ratchets, swivel just above the knees, and the feet are on ball joints. So you can pull off some pretty neat poses. One thing you do need to be aware of are there is a little bit of limited posability in the shoulders due to the fact that he's got larger shoulder pads, and then the actual shoulder points are a little bit too tall. But otherwise, he's fine. And you can see I just adjusted the tail there to give him a little bit more balance. So yeah, there's that. You could definitely use that tail for posability. Overall, he's an excellent figure. The only complaint I have, other than the tail being, not collapsible, has to do with the weapons. They're actually a 0.5 millimeter too large for the hands. And it's more like a 0.3 of a millimeter to a 0.5 millimeter. The pegs are too large. The handholds are fine, but the pegs for all the weapons are just a smidge too large. And yes, I did use a caliper to measure them. So yeah, they're between, depending on the weapon, between 0.3 and 0.5 millimeters too big. Pain in the butt, but oh well, nothing I can't fix with a little sandpaper. And as you can see here, the other guys can hold the weapons with no problem. Seigfried is a fantastic figure and definitely belongs in your collection. If you're collecting the Unique Toys Ordnance set, he's an absolutely must-have, obviously, for the combined mode, but as a figure on his own, he is phenomenal. So gang, I hope you have enjoyed this video review. As always, I've been Baltmatrix. Asking you to like, comment, and subscribe. Check me out on Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook at Baltmatrix Reviews. On Facebook, that is. I'm Baltmatrix on the other two. So gang, as always, I'll catch you next time.